Joining me on the program this afternoon, a very special guest, Kasturi Shankar, an actor and activist, somebody who has been a really articulate voice on this entire Me Too movement. Kasturi, thanks very much for being with us. My first question to you, it's a similar pattern, something that we saw in the Kerala film industry as well, that these men with assault charges, these extremely powerful men, they occupy top positions in these film bodies, and that makes the entire redressal process almost a sham.
Yes, it's kind of like a scene out of Andhadhun, where you go to the police station and the perpetrator is the inspector himself. It's almost a theater of the absurd. But I think the question is in reverse, because only if you're in a place of power can you actually go forth and use that power, abuse that power to exploit people. If you were not in a position of power, if you were an upcoming dance choreographer yourself, who's going to even subject themselves to your advances? Who's going to even tolerate that? I'm not saying, and before an thorough investigation is completed, it is not fair for to label somebody, then it would be a witch hunt. But that said, at least in the choreographer's case, the girl, she's actually well known. We, out of decency, are not talking about her name here, but everybody knows. In the Telugu industry, the media is completely open about her name, what she's done. Her YouTube videos are being shared now, and they're viral. So everybody knows that this was a long-standing. I think this is somebody who won a dance competition, was offered the job of assistant to Johnny Master. She worked with him for almost 2 years.
But of course, we are not revealing anything about her identity, given the fact that she may have been a minor, when the charges came to that, and there's a POSO Act against.
Not a minor.
Yes.
I don't think she was a minor at the time the first encounter may have taken place. I do believe that she won her dance competition and joined his services as a major only, but that is
besides
irrelevant.
The point, yes.
Anybody in a sexual assault case, you cannot be talking about the alleged victim's identity.
Yes, absolutely.
And here's the thing. Till last year, the IPC did not have any section that would deal with the casting couch problem, or rather corporate or sexual harassment and assault in the workplace, anywhere, corporate or movies or wherever. But the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita has introduced a section 69.
Yes. So that's an important point you're making, Kasturi. But, very quickly looking at the other larger aspect of this as well. Earlier, it was mostly, say, actors coming out and talking about the kind of casting couch that exists across industries. But we have seen how it's not just actors. We've seen junior artists, script writers, choreographers. All of them have come out and talked about, in sordid detail, what they've had to go through. So this is really a problem that is pervasive, in film industries.
Vedant, I'm going to actually expand that and say sexual harassment is a problem that is pervasive in any sphere of activity. Where there are dirty old men and perverted guys, you are going to, and powerful men. Where there are powerful men in places of authority, there are going to be women who will be exploited in some nature or the other. So this is not about the film industry. In fact, I would go so far as to say the problem is less in the film industry, because this is a transparent world.
Yes.
There are no secrets in the film industry, but we get talked about more. There are any number of cases being filed in the corporate sector that we don't talk about. So let's not say, but that said, yes, I agree and I appreciate your empathy in the matter. And Section 69 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita now criminalizes kind of sexual favors that have been procured by giving some inducement of work or promotion. Or marriage,
I agree with you.
Right? So once the promotion have been got into it, the reason I bring this up is because, I'll be honest, going through the plaintiff's complaint, it sounds like most of the sexual encounters were consensual. However, the consent seems to have bought on the basis of false promise of work and promotion.
Yeah, so I think that's an important point there, because that's where it becomes a bit sort of convoluted, given the fact that if it's consent in exchange of false promises, then that's by powerful men, then it's a bit problematic. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there, Kasturi, but thanks very much for your perspective. I think you've really broken it down well for us.